Faith, looking back so we can look forward. Have you ever been able to visit Mackinac Island? A few years ago, my wife and we took our kids and we told them we are going to go visit the island. And you know what? My kids didn't want to go. Before our trip, we had to convince our children that this would be a great experience. Now our kids love Mackinac Island. And now when my children are concerned or anxious about something, that we're trying something new, my wife and I point them back to this trip and how we had to convince them that this would be a good experience. We help them remember the past and have faith in mom and dad as we look toward the future. Right now, our leaders in our country are calling for unity. We have seen civil unrest like we've never seen it before. There is fear of contracting the coronavirus and how it could affect our lives and the lives of our loved ones. In fact, in this fast-paced society, we focus on the instant gratification and then quickly forget our history. When we don't take the time to look back and remember our history, doubt begins to fester and faith begins to crumble, and anxiety and fear begin to run rampant in our lives. Hebrews 11:1-2 give us the biblical definition of faith. It says, "Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. For by it the people of old received their commendation." Biblical faith is defined by these terms, conviction and assurance. This is a faith that is grounded in substance, not wishful thinking that has no merit. This faith or assurance is rooted in the relationship one has with God through Jesus Christ. Looking back at God, the Creator, He speaks the universe into existence. From the grandeur of the planets in space to the smallest detail in our genetic code. He created humanity in His image for a relationship with Him. When humanity broke that relationship and sin and death entered into the world, He, God, provided a way for humanity to be restored to Him. When Jesus died on the cross and rose again, He conquered sin and death. He provided the only complete restoration for our eternal need. Think about this. Humanity's anxiety revolves around suffering and the fear of death. But we only live for about 120 years. And we still die. Jesus died and raised Himself from the dead and continues to live even now and offers eternal life after this life. This is where our faith needs to be grounded. The rest of Hebrews chapter 11 gives us story after story of people who grounded their faith in God and what He promised, and assurance of the fulfillment of your greatest need. So how do we get this faith or assurance? Romans 10:17 says, "So faith comes by hearing, and hearing through the words of Christ." If you don't have this assurance, or if your faith is struggling to take at times, look back. Look back and do some fact checking. Look back at the Bible and your life and notice the fingerprints of God on your story. Imagine the impact on our culture if we look back to our history, the unity that could be in our nation, and the trust that could be restored. What would true faith or assurance in Jesus Christ do for our fears and anxieties? I want to encourage you, look back on what God has done through Jesus Christ so you can have true biblical faith in the one who defeated death. Hebrews 10:39 says, "But we are not of those who shrink back and are destroyed, but of those who have faith and preserve their souls."